Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to put our hands together and be upstanding as we welcome the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Minister for Diaspora and Foreign Affairs as he comes to speak to us about SDDA at 2. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Rosalind Njogu. Please be seated. The PS, Rosalind Njogu, senior government officials. I've seen Lucy Kirutu, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Diaspora stakeholders and partners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to join you at this Diaspora Day. During this special week, as we continue to celebrate 60 years of Kenya's diplomatic journey. This gathering gives us an opportunity to recognize and celebrate and also appreciate the role of our Kenyans working, studying, and living abroad in shaping our diplomacy. They carry our flag high as brand ambassadors for our culture, heritage, tourism, sports, trade, investments, and human capital in their host countries. The Ministry, through the State Department of Diaspora Affairs, has organized this forum to hear from the diaspora and other critical stakeholders on how we can make our engagement even more beneficial, enriching, and focused on the socio-economic development of our country. This platform will enable us to have constructive discussions with the Kenyan diaspora on what more we can do together, areas of key focus, and strategies to employ to harness the opportunities available abroad. Our focus on the diaspora is informed by their growing contribution to Kenya's socio-economic development, mainly through remittances, investment, and knowledge transfer. In the first 10 months of this year, remittances increased to a record 4 billion USD. That is over 520 billion Kenya shillings. We are anxiously looking forward to the figures as at the end of December. This is a remarkable increase of 17.8% over the remittances of 3.6 billion received during the same period in 2023. This cements the position of remittances as Kenya's largest foreign exchange earner, delivering more than the combined earnings from coffee, tea, horticulture, and tourism. It also sets us on the pathway to growing remittances to 1 trillion Kenya shillings by 2027. We appreciate the sacrifices that these Kenyans abroad make to dutifully send money home, directly impacting education, healthcare, small business enterprises, housing, gender equality, rural development, and poverty alleviation. We can enhance this contribution, particularly if we reduce the cost of remitting money from an average of 6% to the Sustainable Development Target of 3%. I wish to assure you that the government will work with all stakeholders to align with the SDG's universal value of leaving no one behind. Our primary goal is to achieve inclusivity and deepen access to affordable digital remittance and financial services. We are also working on a diaspora bond with technical support from the World Bank's Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA. This instrument will offer Kenyans abroad a secure investment while diversifying the source of financing for government projects. While providing a competitive return on investment, the bond will help Kenya to systematically move away from costly foreign loans to support its infrastructure and other capital development projects. Another key focus of our engagement with the diaspora is transfer of knowledge and skills. This will enable us to tap into initiatives that will support the bottom-up economic transformation agenda priorities and Kenya Vision 2030. I wish to commend the diaspora who are already involved in this, from the doctors and nurses who have hosted medical camps and established clinics to academics who seek to partner with our universities for research and the entrepreneurs who are expanding their businesses and creating employment back home. Further, we are implementing the global labor market strategy to secure quality placements for Kenyans abroad. We are deliberate about engaging countries through bilateral labor agreements and MOUs to expand opportunities that will help empower people, particularly the youth. As we do this, we undertake to enhance our capacity to offer timely and effective consular services, ensuring that the rights of every Kenyan outside our borders is protected. I can confirm our readiness to do exactly this. The State Department for Diaspora and Affairs has officers on call 24/7 to address the Kenyan diaspora issues and concerns. And we have listened to some of them a few minutes ago. I encourage you to use this platform for networking, information sharing, and providing feedback. Take advantage of this opportunity to forge partnerships that extend beyond borders and foster collaboration for propelling our collective vision forward. Let us put our minds together and agree on how to further leverage the skills, expertise, and networks for our diaspora in the broader narrative of Kenya's development. Let me conclude by extending my deepest gratitude to the organizers of this event and to all of you present here. Your contribution will enrich Kenya's diplomatic journey. Asanteni sana, and God bless you. Let me just try and pick up 2 points for a little emphasis. The first one is the remittances. We can no longer take it for granted. Kenya's shilling is holding out very well against other currencies, and if I peg it to the dollar, it's at around 129. We had seen a slide of the Kenyan shilling to 169 to the dollar. Now it is firmly holding out very well at 129 to the dollar. Take a moment and ponder. Suppose the diaspora decided that they are shutting the doors. What would be the likely impact on the strength or competitiveness of the Kenya shilling against the other currencies? So let's reflect very, very seriously on what we are talking about. Now, yesterday's paper, this is my second issue. Yesterday's paper, there was a very good story with the PS Treasury making a comment and saying that if they were to renovate or put the extension of the new Jomo Kenyatta Airport, they would need close to 260 billion Kenya shillings for a new terminal and perhaps the runways that would be required. That is, give or take, 300 billion Kenya shillings. Ladies and gentlemen, if we package an infrastructure bond, an infrastructure diaspora bond properly, well backed, you tell me, the infrastructure bond can raise not the 300 billion required. Initial figures now show us that if we do it well, we have the capacity to raise over 500 billion shillings through an infrastructure bond. That means the diaspora can build that new airport. It is possible. Through the bond, we can fund the road towards Uganda. It's an artery for Kenyans and indeed the countries that are landlocked, who are also our largest trading partners. Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, South Sudan. Through this bond, we can do something very different. You can extend the SGR. You can do something about our medical programs. The list is endless. So we have potential. When India, who have a very strong diaspora, wanted to raise some funds, they put out their bond some years back, and the initial amount they were able to raise from their bond was the equivalent of $5 billion US. It was literally overheating. And they had to tell them, mos, enda pole pole kidogo. But there could be others. I think if you go into the history of what comes out of bonds from the diaspora, Israel, I think, has been perhaps the most successful. Over the years, they have raised close to $50 billion in bonds to support some of their programs. So this is clearly an area that we can, as Kenyans, help each other so that we liberate ourselves from over-reliance on development partners for our programs. There's an opportunity. Finally, I'll give two cases. When we were leaving UNGA earlier this year in New York, some Kenyans invited me in West Virginia. They are doctors. A consortium of doctors came together. They bought a pharmaceutical plant in the US. And those Kenyans, very brilliant men and women, have actually managed to develop a very good drug for sickle cell anemia that goes to the very young, because normally it's not easy to find that drug and it's very expensive, so that it can handle and support Kenyans or human beings who have the challenge with sickle cell anemia. And it's prone in malaria areas. East Africa is an area that has a lot of malaria. So chances are you'll find that sickle cell anemia is also there. Now, they have done it. They are now manufacturing. They are planning to make sure that they can make that drug, which no other person is manufacturing, so that it can become available to citizens of the world, and more specifically, to land here in Kenya, so that it can support those who have sickle cell anemia. These are Kenyans in the diaspora. On my way from Samoa, Commonwealth Conference, I stopped over in Brisbane, Australia, and we went to the Prince Charles Hospital. And there, again, we came across some brilliant Kenyan doctors. One of them is a top researcher in that hospital, working with his colleagues. They're also about to make a very major breakthrough, extremely critical in the field of medicine. And perhaps when they pronounce it, he could be a candidate with his colleagues for a potential Nobel Peace Prize in that field. And this is a young man who was also trained in Kilifi, partly at the Kemri Research here and Kilifi, then he's residing there. And I was shocked. These are Kenyans in the diaspora. And interestingly enough, what struck me as we toured the hospital is that I was walking beside him, but when we go to the lift, there was a life-size photograph of him in the lift. So I said, "What is your portrait doing on this lift?" And he said, "That is the way the hospital is recognizing his potential." Why am I bringing out all this? I'm bringing out all this to help Kenyans understand that when we talk about placements and opportunities, it is the whole spectrum of the opportunities. We want to support those who will have low skills, middle-level skills, and even the extremely high skills. This is what we are looking for. Opportunities must be created both in Kenya and externally. That is the footprint that we want to be able to have as a people. And this is why we believe that the week that we are having around the diplomacy is so important, so that we answer some basic questions. Why does the President of Kenya travel? Because the Gen Z were asking this question. We have to answer it. We have to establish opportunities in Kenya. We have to establish opportunities abroad. We have to allow your talent to go beyond the boundaries of our country. We want to become a strong economy. And that can only be done by us working with the global community. If Kenya was to be an introvert state, a state that just looks inward and does not look beyond, you can imagine what we would be. Hata wewe kwa familia yako, kwa jamii yako, ukifikiri kwamba mwanzo na mwisho unakuishia kwa nyumba yako, utakuwa na shida. Ni lazima tujue kwamba Kenya ni pana, ulimwengu ni pana, na kujijenga ni kuhakikisha tuna marafiki kule nje. Ndio jamii zetu, watoto wetu wa Kenya wa tabaka mbalimbali na talanta mbalimbali wapate nafasi ya kujimudu na kujijenga kwa sehemu mbalimbali ya mataifa yetu. Kwa hivyo tusimame pamoja tukijua kwamba lengo letu ni kutafuta manufaa kwa Wakenya. Na sio Bwana Mudavadi, mimi naelekea kwa kipindi kile kingine. Na wengi wetu tutaelekea pale. Lakini lazima tuache msingi bora, msingi wa maana kwa vizazi ambavyo viko, ambavyo vinazidi kuwa kwa wingi, kwa sababu ni 60%. Hawa ndio tunatafutia nafasi, na ndio kwa sababu mlango wa diaspora ni wa maana sana kwa uchumi wetu. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.
Excellency, thank you. We would wish to present you with the Diaspora Investment Conference report. We had a fantastic investment conference report in 2013. PS, please come to the front. Thereafter, we are going to have a photo session. Mr. Munzala, welcome to present the report. This is a very instructive conference that we had because it leads to the diaspora investment strategy that we developed. As the report is being presented, I kindly welcome the other directors for a group photograph with the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Kindly, quickly make your way to the podium. Any directors who are not there? Sorry? Thank you very much. Excellency, we've come to the end of our formal program, and as you depart, we warmly welcome you to see the other side of the exhibition. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Dear participants, we have a program continuing. We have a panel discussion continuing, but in the meantime, can we have some music as the Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary is viewing the rest of the... We can be seated. I don't know if the other panelists are there, but you're welcome. Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying, allow you to go through. Then I can just speak. Actually, I'm going to be brief. It's just about the statistics, because you provide the statistics to yourselves and the public.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next in the program? Please, what's next in the program? This is your program. I'm not harassing you. Huh? Natoka kabla tujamaliza.